Well, I think you've got to live again in the moment of God's provision, protection by seeking first the kingdom. When we seek first the kingdom, we take our eyes off all those worldly issues, whatever they might be, and our focus is on a higher realm. So think of those things above. Philippians talks about that. Think of what is pure and what is lovely and what is good. And don't get caught up in all of the politicization of the things that go on. Because I find, it's like, if I let my focus be on those things, then those things can start to pull me down and affect me negatively because I'm joining in with the atmosphere or joining in with the frequency that they're producing, and they begin to entrain me towards it. So I don't allow those negative frequencies to begin to stir me up. Because to be honest, it's like some of the things that people are fussing about are minor issues when it comes to life. Really, when it comes to eternity, those temporal things will be meaningless, a drop in an ocean. And yet people get so angry about them and so burned up about it all that they let it affect their peace. So when anything starts to affect my peace, then I come back into a place of rest and realize this is like, okay, is this really that important? Am I really going to bother with that? Now, obviously, if it was something that actually made a major effect on my life, then I would take it back to the Father and say, is there anything you want me to do in this situation? Or do you just want to walk me through it? And I'm not going to sit back and allow anything to affect me. So I can, shield myself. And, I have a shield around me. So I'm not really, and I have angels that are protecting me and everything else. But I think a lot of people are getting drawn into things which they'll look back on and think, how ridiculous that was to get so annoyed and angry about that, when there's terrible things going on in the world and we're bothering about this or that or the other. I'm not going to go into the details because I'm probably aware of what you're talking about and other things, but those things are now highlighted and they're becoming politicized, and people are trying to make political hay out of them by trying to rile people up to create tension and competition and conflict, because that's where negativity thrives. So if I think something's unfair, I'm going to forgive and bless. Simple as that. I take the same approach. And sometimes it's like, I don't understand either. I'm not in all the facts about everything in the world. So sometimes, people are like saying all this stuff and I'm like, I don't really think you've got any more knowledge about it than I have, and I don't know, so I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to take it back to God. If I've got any query, I'll take it back to him. I'll allow him to show me if there's anything I need to do or any approach I need to take, but I'm going to stay in peace and rest. I'm not going to be riled by political issues, unless they start to impinge on my right to engage God. Then for me, the rest of it is minor, and I know people get all stirred up about it, but at the moment, those senses are heightened because there is an environment that is being created to create conflict, and we must not get drawn into conflict. And again, if I'm being triggered, why am I being triggered? I'm going to go to the Father and ask him. It's the same thing as like lie busting. It's like, do the same as you would in a lie bust. What's triggering me? Ask the Father to show you what's triggering. Ask Jesus as the truth to show you what's triggering. Why is this causing me to fear? Why is this causing me to anger? Why is this rising up the sense of injustice? And I see all the Facebook stuff and all the people who are posting all these memes and things and everything, and they're just trying to create conflict. And yeah, there's stuff going on, and I think, yes, there's protest. But what we want people to protest about is the things that are on the Father's heart. And what some people are protesting about isn't even on the Father's radar, let alone on his heart, because it's in irrelevance when it comes to eternity. Now God is with us in every moment. So he is connected to what we're going through, but he really wants us to see those things from his perspective. and let go of the minor irrelevancies and embrace the things which are important. And then, yeah, pursue those things that are important, but make sure they're not coming from our own leaning to our own understanding. And what I see is a lot of people leaning to their own understanding and promoting their own understanding. And I don't find the truth on it. It doesn't carry the frequency of truth, so I just leave it. And I have a radar for that because I've spent such a time in the truth and with the truth that when something doesn't carry the hallmark of God, if it isn't based in love, and, you know, for me, if someone is starting to operate and there's no love in it, I'm just not going to go there. And even if they have a point, but they're not operating in love, I'm not going to go there because they'll never win anything by functioning in hate or anger or retribution or bitterness or resentment or, you know, this self-focus. People are removing my rights. Well, who gave you those rights in the first place? You know, political system. Okay. Did God give them you? Well, God promoted those people to develop this political system. I don't think he did. I think he's more intent on us seeking first the kingdom and letting go of all the earthly systems so we can focus on something which is going to produce positive end result, rather than getting drawn back into the conflicts of the religious and political spirit that just have an agenda to keep us in separation and division and not to come together in oneness. So in one sense, I think people coming together to protest is a sign that oneness is possible, but it's not those issues that oneness is really important. There are bigger issues than what is being protested about, you know, and it's all, most of it's politicized, and I would stay away from it, not get involved with it, and focus on the things that God's putting on your heart and not other things, really. Hi everyone, we're starting a Patreon page, patreon.com/freedomarc, and we would like to invite you to partner with us in taking the message of God's unconditional love, limitless grace, triumphant mercy to a bigger global audience.